What up, comic book YouTube community? This is Pope G, and I am being graced by the very awesome TaT Comics, who is
What's
gracing
up,
me with
guys?
his presence tonight. And we've been out and about snagging books and whatnot. And we are here to share those and chit chat and bullshit about comics or whatever. Whatever comes to mind, I guess.
Yep. I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy.
Oh man, flashbacks.
Oh yeah, that's been on TV where I'm at. So I've been watching a lot of the old movies of Wayne's World and gosh, any Adam Sandler movie that was on.
God, I haven't seen Wayne's World in like forever and a day.
Yeah. Oh man, I
Figuring out my
forgot.
age. I remember when that shit came out in theaters.
Oh yeah, I remember the car, the Murphmobile with the licorice. I always
Oh
wanted one of those. I was like, man, that would be the way to drive. Pull down a big old string of licorice and eat it, because gotta have the red vines.
yeah, there you go. There you go. All right, so yeah, we're here. We've had a little bit of technical difficulties, and obviously, if you've it's not it's, it's this guy and JP. If you're watching or listening, man, I like I understand the struggle, man. Like I hit buttons, went through settings, and nothing seemed to work. Rebooted my computer, resent a new link, and finally, I guess, like StreamYard was like, just let these guys have their fucking show. Like,
Exactly. I'm about to write my congressman. What the hell?
can I speak to the president of StreamYard, please?
Yes.
Like, is it like the cousin of the Affleck duck?
Yeah. Oh man, that's a good one. I forgot about
Because
the
I'm even
Aflac duck.
surprised that even like going live that they don't interrupt us with like, this is brought to you by StreamYard. Like even though it has like watermarked up in the corner, so like everybody
Hmm.
knows like we're definitely doing StreamYard.
Yeah, it's right in my corner, right up there on my screen.
Oh yeah.
Can't tell if he's wearing like headphones or if that's his eye way to the back of his head. But yeah, I
Oh
can
no,
see it.
it's his headphones.
Oh, okay, yeah,
So yeah, I mean, you want to start off with some showing us some books?
yeah, sure. Well, I am trying to complete my Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man, which eventually goes to just Sensational Spider-Man. But I found these books at a good price, so I couldn't pass them up. This is number 32.
Very
Mm,
nice. Very nice.
Thanks. Number 37. Bad bags. I'm sorry.
Oh man, it's okay. Like I haven't even put these in. Like some of them are in bags. Oh, I love that cover. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a key, but I can't remember. It's something to do with Morbius. Number 38. I didn't take the time to look him up, so that's my bad. 39. And this one I got two copies. So I got the director and the newsstand. This number 56.
The jack o' lantern.
Hmm.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah. So these ones I didn't pay $1 for, but I mean, it's going to my collection, so I didn't care. And the price was good. And he started cutting me deals when I came up there with a big old stack of books. So I was quite happy about that.
Okay, so let me see if I can get this clear. So was it just Spectacular Spider-Man, or was it Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man, and then it just turned into Spectacular Spider-Man, or
Yeah.
are they actually two different series?
No, it's they just took the name, they cut it down because it was
Okay,
too
I
long.
thought so because I remember like when I first started collecting, I remember like seeing like these Peter Parker because my
Hmm.
brother collected Spider-Man and I collected X-Men and Wolverine and but obviously I'd read his books because I liked comic books. But like I remember reading like his Spider-Man collection, and this was right around the time like Jim Lee did the new X-Men in the '90s, and then
Hmm.
Todd McFarlane did the Spider-Man, which I have to say is, oh, we got JP. He said live, eh?
What's up, JP?
Yeah, well, we felt the struggles of trying to get StreamYard to work, but we got it, man. We got there. We got there. We were usually we were about 30 minutes late, but we made we made it to the dance floor.
Yep.
Oh yeah, but oh yeah, talk about like Spider-Man. It was like I remember just like looking at the Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man, and then like there being another title like called Spectacular Spider-Man, and I was like, when you first start collecting comic books, you're like, are these like, what's going on? Like, because like for a while it took me, like how, like, because there's Amazing Spider, and like, because this time there was Amazing Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man, and then then you had Spider-Man that Todd McFarlane
Yeah.
did, and I was just kind of like, are these in this? Like, is it the same story? I was like, because how can Spider-Man be fighting the Lizard, and then like over here he's fighting like Electro and stuff? It's like,
Yeah.
and as like a kid and just getting into comics, like I couldn't separate that. Like, how could this be happening at the same time?
Right. Right. Yeah. When I was collecting, oh, I'm sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
Oh, I say yeah, because when I was collecting, like my first Spider-Man book was Web of Spider-Man, and I want to say it was issue 12, and then I got like 13 and 14, and then that's about the time I quit collecting. So when I started getting back into collecting, I knew of like Spider-Man, I knew of the McFarlane run of Spider-Man and things like that. But then I started collecting this Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man, and I started collecting those books, and it took me to get my CLZ out to realize that that's when they cut the name and went to just Sensational Spider-Man. And I talked about that to my brother AG Surfer in this chat room that I have with a couple other YouTubers. And Amazing Murphinator just started laughing. He said, "Yeah, dude, that's how it's been." I said, "Well, I didn't know that. I just found that out now because I realized how big this run was." I was like, "Holy smokes. I don't know if I can get all those books." But then, because I was trying to take books in, take books out of my list. And that's when I realized that. I'm like, man, well, it's good to learn things. But
Yeah,
all
but I
those
mean,
years, I never knew.
when I was young, I was like, where the fuck is the rest of this series at? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's like, just like no one knows.
And then
And
they
it's
always
like,
did
no, these
crossovers too.
it's just, yeah, it's the same, but
Yeah.
I like, oh god, the crossovers, like that's how they stole my money in the '90s. Was like, because like I told you, I was a big X-Men fan, so like I
hmm
had to collect X-Force, I had to collect Uncanny X-Men,
hmm
X-Men, and I was already a Wolverine fan, and like, so those things would always cross over and be like, find out what happens in Wolverine. And I was like, well, thank God I already collect Wolverine.
Yeah.
And like, Marvel Comics Presents at the time, like Wolverine obviously was like the
It's a big character in
yeah, the
that.
big
Yeah.
guy in those, and I was just like, okay, like so, like, but I don't know, it was neat though, and like, and that's what I liked about Marvel Comics Presents because it like kind of opened up my world a little bit more because not only
hmm
was I finding my favorite character, I was getting to learn about other. I was like, oh shit, there's like 4 fucking stories, like
Oh
just
yeah.
little stories, like my own little soap operas going on.
Melrose
So,
Place.
yeah,
Hashtag.
it's like,
How
like
the Locklear's coming over.
it's just kind of like, all right, Wolverine's dealing with Venom or whatever, and then all of a sudden, like, to be continued, and it's just like flip it over, and it's like, what's
hmm
Ghost Rider doing? What?
Oh yeah, the Marvel Presents. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
those flip books. Yeah, because like the one thing I remember too is when I was collecting, because my first book I think I mean I've said it many times was X-Men number 12, and that's what kind of introduced me to like that realm of reading books. Of course, I read that book very carefully, but then I started liking Wolverine, and the guy at the counter was telling me, yeah, Wolverine's with the X-Men, and he says, but you'll see him jump in other titles. So then I was grabbing anything that had Wolverine on the front cover, like from Alpha Flight to, gosh, oh, there's a bunch now. I'm drawing blanks. But I brought up the Alpha Flight one because I bought that book a long time ago, and it's where he's jumping out of the chest of that robot. And then to find out later on, as I got older and started knowing a little bit more about books, that was Jim Lee's first attempt at drawing Wolverine.
Oh, is that
And
issue Alpha Flight 51?
The number is eluding me right now, but I believe it's up in the higher ends. But I just remember the cover that it's yellow in the background. He's jumping out of like a robot's chest, and that's Jim Lee's first attempt to draw Wolverine. You also get Jim Lee's first work ever published in Marvel was in the Alpha Flight issue where Wendigo's like just destroying stuff on the front page from like tanks and things like that. And that number, gosh, that number eludes me too. But it was great because I was buying those books before they really took off. So then I started seeing them taking off, and I'm like, well, hey, I already have that issue. I don't have to worry about hunting it down, you know. And
I just found that. Go ahead and keep talking. I'm going to try to see if I can find it.
Yeah. I could definitely. I mean, if I had the better brain skills of working my phone when I'm on this without jumping out, I would definitely pull up the cover or at least the number. But then, like you said, that's when Jim Lee, down the road, he did that X-Men run, and he had 5 different covers for the first issue. And in that run that Jim Lee did as well, that's when you get the first appearance of Omega Red. Just his artwork really took off then, and I think he did a great job on that series. But those number 1 books, they were in the dollar bins for years, and then all of a sudden they became popular again. I think that might have been when he was hitting the circuit and signing autographs. So people were then digging them out of dollar bins. And I know some of these comic book stores were pulling them out and charging the price up. And I was like, that's not a problem. I already have a set, and then I was just finding them for friends, whoever needed like an issue of it so they can have a copy. That wanted to read the story but never got into them then. So I was trying to grab whatever copies I could and save them for friends and stuff.
Yeah, that book's like the book you want to find is like never right there. Like even if you just had it in your hand like not too long ago, it's just like no, fuck you.
Well, my excuse is I'm not at my house, so I couldn't pull the book out for you. But I do have books on the table. But no, I feel your pain. I've been there many a times. I can show these books while you're looking for that one. These are some other books I picked up today. I know you've seen them, so I'll show them to the people. I definitely have to replace the bags in these though, because these are ones that were donated to a store, and I went in there and scooped them up. I like that cover a lot. Put this down here. Let's see here.
All right, I give up. What's funny is because like there's Alpha Flight books in there, but like none of them is the one I'm looking for.
Yeah.
What's up, J Rod? We got J Rod in the.
Oh, nice. What's up, J Rod? God, my beard usually covers up the cords pretty good. There you go. That's what it's used for, people. My beard, cover up cords.
Gotta be.
Well, I shaved off my mustache because God, I can't stand like hair going up in my nose. And I'm sitting there scratching my nose all the time. People think I do coke. Yeah.
I can't do it.
Yeah, I start doing this a lot, and people are going, "What's wrong with that kid?" I'm like, "Got a quarter?"
Yeah. That was pre-show. It was like pre-stream yarding,
Yeah, man.
You're getting our ducks in a row.
It's not dope, man. I used to be able to do, like, it sounds weird trying to do voices of people that I can usually do and hearing it, through my headphones, because to me, I sound like I'm way off, like doing the voice of the person I'm trying to do. So I'm gonna stop.
No, man, don't stop, man. That's good shit.
Then I got this Ultimate Avenger, and like I was telling you earlier, it's it's the first appearance of this girl playing the Wasp. So I it said it was a key, but there was a bunch of them, and I just figured I didn't want to spend too much money. I was already up in the $30 range, so it's like I'll just walk out because these books here were like $2 a piece, which isn't bad because I'm still $1 or $2 under cover price. So, and I found some of the Ultimate X. These are some nice Joseph Loeb writing and Arthur Adam covers. So I'll just show you that one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I like that a lot. You know, and I realized Arthur Adams really has a way of drawing his female characters where they almost have like a doll face. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't.
I was just about to say that. Like, there's something about like the way he draws their body style and their face almost looks like like it's kind of weird, but it's like you said, it's almost like they don't belong with the rest of the characters because they have almost like an angelic, like doll-like face.
Yeah, I mean, he does a really good job. I mean, I grew up loving his art. You know, from gosh, classic X-Men, which that was a run I was hunting for years. Finally completed. And the one thing I love about his art is if I'm flipping through a long box or a short box, I can spot his work just like
Yeah,
that.
I was just about to say it's recognizable, man. You can just
Yeah,
know.
and I mean, he does such. I mean, he does such good work. From background scenery to the main character on the front page. I mean, he's the man. You know. Um, I have this book already, but I believe it's the variant to these. And what I like about most of these Ultimatum books is they're all wraparound covers. So you get like a really cool cover like this, main characters on there, and then you open it up and it has a nice background to it too. Oh no, not that one. Sorry. That has a car ad. My other.
We're gonna shamelessly plug a car. Like, I'm
Yeah,
just like, buy this new Honda. Blah 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 blah.
yeah, exactly. That's our sponsor. Oh, that's my sponsor. This one is the one I do have, and I have the variant cover to this, and it is a wraparound, but this one isn't. But hey, I mean, how can you go wrong showing some nice Wonder Woman?
Eh? Which is kind of
But
ironic because it's a Marvel book.
yeah, exactly, right. Yeah, it's talking about her DVDs, but the other one I have, it's cool because when you do open it up, I mean, it's a huge poster. I mean, it really unravels out, and you got all the like main characters in there. But this stuff is pretty cool. That I like these little splash pages they'll show in there too as well.
Oh yeah.
And I'm trying. That almost looks like an Annie Granoff, to be honest, but I don't see his initials because Annie Granoff has a really unique style as well that I really like. Oh man, yeah, I just picked these up today. I mean, like this splash page, that's awesome. So yeah, and this is just a 5-part series, but of course they have, gosh, like probably like I think they have like at least 4 different variants for the first issue, and then every other one after that, it's like maybe 1 or 2, that they did. So it starts to get a little spendy. I'm pretty sure it was more spendy back then, but I mean, I'm just glad to find most of these books now on the cheap, so that way I can have them in my collection.
Oh, I hear that, man. God Almighty, like that's
Yeah.
what I
Oh,
was
I forgot.
thinking. Like, you're talking about, you know, when you start getting through a dollar bin, like I'll like start like a stack will start to form about this big, and then
Mm-hmm.
next thing I know, my stack is like this big, and then I have
Mm-hmm.
to stop and be like, well, let me count how many books I have right now.
Yeah.
Then I start going through them, and I'm like, do I really want this one? Like, do
Mm-hmm.
I want to put this one in my collection? And
I
like
do that.
sometimes I'll see a cover that I like. I think there was like a key to it, and then I'll be like,
Mm-hmm.
no.
Yeah, I do the same thing. I seriously do the same thing. Especially when I'm hitting them and I'm getting them for dead cheap. I'll make the stacks like you're saying, and then I go back to them later. Do I really want to spend $50 today, or do I want to spend like 30?
Yeah.
And then I'll look. Then I'll look up and I'll see a sign, and they're like half off books. Okay, I guess I'm going back up to 50 because now they're half off. Then I'm walking home with a short box. I mean, it's just insane what I do. I'm bad at that. Oh, okay. Now this one is a wraparound. And this is the variant cover to the original. But see, they got like the Thor and all that stuff. And I mean, they're not scrolls, so that's not a scroll. But oh, here you go. I think it's to me, it's I haven't read the story, so I couldn't tell if it was like more of a Terminator thing, you know. But I just like the cover. I'll
Sorry.
be back. I'll be back. You know, kind
Come
of
with
thing.
me
But
if you want to live.
yeah, but that's a cool picture at the end. Though you got Doom. So the artwork in this is very nice.
I was say, like, you know what? Like, you just saying that, like, kind of makes me think of, like, I think Doom, for me, probably has the best, like, I guess, entrances into, like, a storyline more than
Hmm.
anybody else. Because,
Oh
first
yeah.
off, he's fucking Doom. And, like, he also looks like a badass, but, like, he always, like, if he's going to be in a storyline, like, he always pops in when no one expects it.
Hmm.
And you have no idea what his motives are. Like,
No.
he could be helping you, but like deep down inside, Doom is helping Doom.
Yeah, he's going for the better beneficiary of himself. I mean, he's looking at what he can learn from you and then take that, you know, if not
But what I like,
anything.
it's always like he always pops up in the very last page after like a hero is getting his ass kicked by someone, but then Doom
Yeah.
just comes in and crushes them, and then he's like, "Now you're fucking with Victor Von Doom." And it's just kind of
Yep.
like, and then there's this awesome like a page of him like crushing something in his hand or something like that.
Hmm. Well, I mean, you know, he was his storyline in Secret Wars was great. I mean, you know, and he had that just iconic cover where he's just like disintegrating on the front cover, you know. But I mean, he's one of those guys. He's just highly intelligent, and he knows how to like go after, you know, his victims because he does make victims. He doesn't make friends, and you know, he knows how to beat them in ways that they didn't think about. And I think it's only like true, you know, nemesis is Mr. Fantastic himself, you know, because I mean, that guy, you know, Mr. Fantastic himself, he's like one of the smartest, most intelligent people in the world too. So he usually knows how to beat Doom, but most anybody else that goes against Doom, they don't normally stand, you know, the test of time against him. You know, he knows how to take him down. Um, and he's just always been like one of my favorite villains besides Magneto. I love the both of them, and I do remember a story about Doom where probably gonna botch it because I haven't thought about it in a while. Where he had like I think it was his wife or his girlfriend, and he turned her over to like these aliens that basically stripped off her skin and made his armor out of her skin. And he wears her skin on his body as armor that's supposed to make him like more stronger or protect him more. I'm like, that is insane. You know what I mean? That's that's throwing your woman to the wolves, man. You're gonna wear
He's
a skin. That's like some Hannibal Lecter shit.
like, that's a whole different level.
Yeah.
I love you, baby, but I gotta protect myself.
Yeah. I'm gonna you know, breast implants or something.
Yeah, it's almost like how much do you love me? Like really?
Yep.
Would you do anything for me?
Mm-hmm.
Like would you shield me? She's like, yeah, and he's like, all right, you said it.
Yep. Let's do it. We're going. You're gonna go meet my friend over here.
Yeah.
Did you have any books you wanted to show, Pope?
Oh yeah, like that big ass stack.
Yeah, start showing some, bro. I want to see some of
And
your
I don't
stuff.
really have much because a lot of this stuff, obviously, it's dollar bin random stuff.
Hey,
But I
some.
picked up this Last Hero Standing.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up finding like a lot of like this is a limit. I found a lot of Marvel limited series, and this is 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
Like, see if I can't find just the right spot. I guess.
That's good.
All right.
Yeah, right there.
So I snagged that, and I nabbed this one because this one made me think. And plus, I've never seen it. Made me think of Bad Avenger, and I'll tell you why. But this is a Line of Defense #1. And the
Oh
reason
wow.
why I picked it up because this is based on a free to play MMO game by Derek Smart. So like, I know Bad Avenger likes to like pick up game books
Hmm.
or like any kind of game that's been turned into a comic book. So kind of picked that up. Picked up, and this is another thing that I like to pick up is anytime I see like, because I've talked in some of like my videos about like Marvel and DC doing these like, especially more with Marvel with the explicit
Hmm.
content is because like I think it's uh, I think their censorship is weird. Uh, and this is Supreme Power number 16. And the reason why I say it's weird because I've talked, or at least on my videos about how DC had this Vertigo was their
Hmm.
kind of like mature audience, and then now they have the Black Label book.
Yeah.
Now, like, to be honest, like I don't even know if there is a medium anymore because
No.
they just gotta throw anything out there. But
Yeah.
like,
I mean, you got you got Batman's Wong that in that one, the one that
so
came out with Batman. You got this dude, the Wong, the Batwing. But yeah, you're right. It's Marvel's sensory is kind of fun. Yeah, but
yeah, but like to me, it's just like I don't think Marvel knew what to do, so they just like put the explicit content like stamp on there.
hmm.
But usually, it's hard for me to say no to these Batman, Superman, J. Lee covers. Uh,
Hmm.
so that's number two. And then like I've been finding myself picking up books that like are just shit I've never seen before, and like a lot of these were just short issues. Like this one is I guess number 2 of 6, but it's called Steel Town Rockers. But like,
And that's Marvel, right?
yeah, but
Yeah.
I've
Okay.
never, like never seen it, and like it just kind of interested me. And then I found The Last Defenders 1 of 6.
Oh, I've seen that cover before.
And I really enjoyed this one. This is X-Men Unlimited number 9.
Hmm.
And this is obviously a homage to John Byrne.
Hmm.
And I just thought it was funny because it's almost like the animated series kind of vibes to it.
Oh yeah.
And how can I ignore a big thing that says in this issue Wolverine dies?
And it's Wolverine. Gotta get it.
Yeah. And then I grabbed this book because I was actually thinking about you when you were talking about the Marvel Age, and you were talking about the Silver Surfer cover and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Uh, and you were talking about I think you were showing a cover of Doom and the Fantastic Four or something in that
Hmm.
video.
Yeah.
Uh, but I remember you were talking about a Galactus cover, and then like you were talking about like there was one with like Silver Surfer on it.
Yeah. That's Marvel Saga. Marvel
Oh,
Saga.
yeah, that's what. Yeah, I thought. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. No, I get.
I know this wasn't Marvel Saga. I was just.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh no.
damn! And Riggy is in the
Oh,
chat.
nice. Riggedy
We got
giggity.
we got the Riggedy Giggity. He's
Giggity
calling us
giggity.
gents. He says, "What's up, gents?"
Yeah,
They're gentlemen here. Hold
I
on.
get those. I get those two titles mixed up every once in a while too, like the Marvel Saga and getting a spectacle on.
Yeah. If someone's gonna call me a gentleman, I'm gonna pull out the monocle.
Oh, monocle. I said spectacle. God, man. Testes, testes.
Oh, but seeing Joker, man, that's awesome.
Yeah, because I got that one signed by Arthur Adams, that Silver Surfer. When I got signed by Arthur Adams, that was Marvel Saga, and then the next one was that Galactus. Yeah, it says Origins of Galactus. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I picked up this book. It made me think of Hazel Dan because they kind of like this stuff, and it was only $1. But this is Katie Keene, number 20, because they like the Archie comic books. And
Yeah.
I'm wanting to say they have a few Katie Keenes. I could be wrong, but I'm wanting
Hmm.
to say they do. Uh, Holy shit, that's weird. At the bottom it says Fashions by Linda Hunt, Bowling Green, Kentucky. I used to live in Bowling Green. Or Bowling Green. I didn't live in Bowling Green, Kentucky, Ohio, but Bowling Green, Kentucky is just like not like maybe an hour away from me, right above me.
Hmm.
And of course, I picked up this book for obvious reasons.
Oh yeah. There's a Sharky on there.
It's trying to eat the Batman.
Yep.
Wow, man. And plus, I do know, I want to say Kingdom Comics. This, I think the Venom series, I think was like one of his favorite, or means a lot to him. It's like one of his favorite Batman stories.
Hmm.
So yeah, like that just goes to tell you, like when a lot of time I'm like flipping through dollar bins, like a lot of times I'll see shit that like reminds me of other collectors. I watch their videos. I'm like, oh, I
Oh
can
yeah.
see so and so digging this.
Yep. That's pretty much what I do. And then a lot of times if I find two copies, I'm like, okay, I'll keep one for myself. Especially like when I come across some like decent covers that like I know you like sharks and stuff. So like there was that one I came when I saw this book, I was like, okay, one
Oh, damn. Hold up a second.
the who's here?
The Bad Avenger is here.
Oh, right on. What's up, bud? But like this one here, like you're saying shark, as soon as I saw that, I thought of you, right? I was like, okay, that's Pope all the way. But I like the cover, and then you told me you said that this was like a good series, So I went
Oh yeah.
back and I grabbed all the rest that he had for this series. Don't have a number one, but that's okay. I'll find it. But I got them
Well, if
all
you don't
for
find
$1.
it, man, I got some copies of number one, man. So
Okay, but these covers are awesome. They
these
kind of
are
almost,
beautiful, man.
yeah, they sort of remind me of like David Mack. Just how the strokes are of the art, with the paint and stuff, and how it just kind of almost bleeds in. But you
Yeah,
still
I,
get like a
I,
defined, you get like a defined picture. But these covers are nice, and I was like $1. I ain't gonna pass that up. I'll buy that for $1. You know. Um, but yeah, what got me started on this run was seeing that shark.
You're welcome.
Yeah, no, thank you. I do the same thing with like Rig though, because like Rig likes comic books that have like big cats on them. So I mean that one right here, there's a big cat. So that's kind of like I was thinking of Rig for that one. Um, but yeah, I mean these are just gorgeous. If I had walls to display these, I definitely would. Um, and I went back to the comic book store. This comic book store here, he's got the Funko Pops and stuff. It's called Dare to Dream Collectibles. So I went back in his shop and he said, "Oh, you're back again." I said, "Yeah, if you got that run, and they're all $1, they're mine." So he started laughing. He says, "Yep, they're right there." So he was letting me get some pretty good books for good prices. So I didn't want to pass those up. But it all started with the shark. Then I went to the cat. So thank you, Rick.
Ricky,
Thank you, Pope.
Ricky says, "Nice big cat, Tat."
Oh man, yeah,
And
I got
speaking
like,
of the Bad Avenger, I haven't got to watch it yet, but I heard someone has a video for the Bad Avenger.
oh yeah,
Or
me,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. Well, he's Bad Avenger's been putting out some just really good content. I mean, I used to watch his videos before, and then like everybody does, we kind of life catches up to us, and we stop watching videos because you got kids. Uh, but then I started watching some of his videos, and he was talking a lot about the DC Universe logos, about newsstand to direct, and he really got me thinking again, like how I was looking in the long boxes before. So it was really cool, and it was just great. He's got good knowledge about the books. I mean, he's very energetic. His books, his collection alone, I would love to have. I'm like, not worthy, not worthy. Exactly. But you know what I mean? I mean, it's just TaT Avenger has like great videos, and so does like Riggedy Giggity. I love his videos. His editing is doing really well.
His editing is uncanny. Like
Yeah, it's funny. He throws stuff in there. I have to rewind a little bit to make sure I didn't miss it, and then I'll just watch it a second time. And then JP's videos, I've been watching his as of late too. It's great to see he's putting out videos. I don't
TaT
know who
Avenger
else is in the chat.
he said he's gonna put you in his will.
Well, then if you do that, I'll put you in my will. You could, I mean, I think you'd be like, no, I don't probably need all your books. That'd be awesome. Nah, you don't have to do that.
God Almighty, like like I'm trying to wonder, like if TaT Avenger did, like if you put me in his will, and I did actually get his comic books, like I would have to buy another house because I'm like I literally have like boxes, and like he was awesome enough to show us like just part of his shit, and he's got the filing cabinets, and then he's got boxes stashed here and there. Like sometimes I imagine that like at least I cleaned up to where I had like a little bit of room, but like I just imagine him just like balancing on a chair so he doesn't knock over stacks, and he's just like books. Because like, oh my god, it's just like I just remember when he did a tour, there was just like he was like, oh man, I got books behind that, and then there's more books. He's like, oh man, like it's almost like he's like, where did these books come from? I forgot, like he like forgot, like he's like, forget doing my video. I just found like a box of comic books I was looking for.
Yeah,
thanks for watching, man.
Well, that's like I feel his pain because, or my wife probably feels his pain because she's been talking to me about, well, you told me these weren't going to be there for much longer. Now I'm seeing them starting to make stairs because I got boxes outside my cabinet. I got my filing cabinets. This is it's a fun hobby to do, but my God, it could get overwhelming. But it's just hard to put down a book that I've been looking for years, and then I like to collect and finish a run. So then that's when I go crazy. But I could be doing worse stuff. You know what I mean? I could be doing way worse stuff than what I'm doing. So, and as long as there's a fall on top of me, I think I'll be all right. It just becomes part of the furniture.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And yeah, do you have any more books you want to show, bro?
Like I said, man, like you know what? I probably won't show all of them because I do have a pretty big stack, but
right.
I am going to show these because like I'd love to talk to you about
I got these stacks too, so I know what you mean about big stacks. I got stacks.
There's quite a bit of them.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about these.
Cool.
And like I was super excited when I found these because like this person is I can never say their name correctly, so I'm not even gonna try it. But I had no idea and it kind of goes back to Marvel having the mature content because like all of their stuff is mature content, or at least the runs that they did. But I didn't know that. I thought like the only book they did was called Sky Doll. But I'm gonna say their name is pronounced like Soleil or Soul. But like, for instance, this one's called Tales of the Dragon Guard, and this is 3 of 3.
Yeah, I've never seen that book.
But like, I've never seen these before, and I'm definitely gonna have to take a look into these things. But like, apparently they did a Universal Revelations or Universal War 1, and this is 2 of 3.
And see, that's right up my alley. It's got a skull on it.
But it was crazy because like there's just like a whole bunch of different titles that they did,
Mm-hmm.
and I had no idea. This one's called Scourge of the Gods. This is book 3, Urbi et Orbi. Some
Mm-hmm.
Latin. This is 3 of 3.
Yeah, I've never seen these.
Like, okay, Sky Doll. It's on the back. There's a preview of Sky Doll. Like, this is Sky Doll right here.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the only one that I even knew about
Hmm.
that they did. So it was just really interesting to see, like, that they have, like, that Marvel, like, it's almost like they just found this artist and writer and they were like, do you guys do mature content?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah. And they're like, you want to do, like we'll call it the mature content run.
Yeah, we'll just put our name on it, like Nike does with most of their stuff.
And this one's Scourge of the Gods, The Fall.
Yeah, I've never seen these before, and I was going to say, like, how you're holding them up. I don't know if it's how the light is hitting them, but if you didn't tell me those were comic books, I would have thought like that was stuff printed on like a steel plate, because the quality of the color and how it's popping, for me, at least, maybe it's just my phone, but it looks like a steel plate, like you're holding up like a piece of steel with something printed on it. It's pretty cool.
Mm.
I mean, to me.
I got you. Well, I mean, I don't know if I need to.
No, I like it though. It's your camera and everything. That's fine. Lighting's fine. I'm just saying it's like I can see it. It's
Okay.
nice.
Trying to make me self-conscious about my lighting.
Nah, look what lighting I'm using.
And I'm not even gonna try. Well, I'll try it. Fuck it. Yothque or Yoth, No Escape. This is
Mm-hmm.
one of them. I know I butchered that fucking title.
Oh, don't worry about butchering names. If you go back and watch any of my videos where I'm like doing rip packs, I don't even know how they call it, but it's like ripping open a pack of baseball or football cards. Oh, forget about it, man. I just start throwing down the card, stop saying names. I'm the same way.
Well, I'm a hockey fan, so I'm like, this is Pavel. He's Russian.
Yeah, I won't even try with hockey cards. No, I'll collect them, but I will not pronounce a name unless it's like Wayne Gretzky or something.
And then here's part 2 of 3 of said book.
Oh, JP would like that. That's got a chick with a blade.
Uh-oh.
Hide it, hide it.
He's got a box sitting right here.
Oh, there you go then.
If he wants them, I will plop them in his box.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
there's one called Husk. And this is 1 of 3.
That's cool. I like how they really made it to be a reflection in someone's eye. Like that's the thing they're seeing. It's about to probably just take them out. That's cool.
Okay, so Joker says hockey too hard to pronounce. He said mainly the French. I even have problems with the baseball. They're Spanish. They just need to be named Bob Smith. Yeah,
Or like
if there's a player I can't pronounce their name, I'm just gonna call him Bob Smith.
there you go. Or George 1, George 2, George 3. George Foreman.
Who's on first?
Yeah.
And Riggedy Giggity says he's never seen these books before, which I almost feel honored by that. Like,
there you go.
The Great Rigor Mortis has not seen these books. Well, this is Husk 2 of 2.
Yeah, those are interesting covers. I like those.
And goddamn, here we go. This is Kookaburra Cave. Yeah, I know, right?
Hey, my hat's off to you, bro. My hat's off to you. You're doing something I get nervous doing sometimes. That's pretty sweet. It's almost like kind of got like that anime, not anime feel to it, but the who's the artist on that front cover?
See, I thought this was yeah, it's Ramos.
Ramos, yeah.
Yes.
Ramos has a way of like drawing characters' expressions a lot, really well. Like he's done a lot with some of the Spider-Man covers, Yeah. So
yeah, I know. What was it? one of the X-Men runs. He did a lot of covers. What was it like?
Oh, it wasn't the Ultimate X-Men, was it?
I think it might be because it was the group of kids that Emma Frost was teaching.
Oh, yeah. I
Because
have some of those.
it wasn't like I can't remember the title of it, but like
Yeah,
it
I
was
have.
like,
Yeah.
but it wasn't like any of the original X-Men. It was just like
No. Yeah, I have some of those books too, but that's at my house. I mean, because I know Ramos. I got to meet him at a con one time, and he was just such a cool dude. He was signing autographs for free. And if he was doing a sketch, I didn't go up and mess with him, because I knew he's trying to make that commission. That's how I do. That's how I learned, down the long run. If someone's doing a commission, don't bug them. you know, just being polite. But yeah, when I first started going to conventions, I was like, "Oh, you sign books here," walking away with the big old stack, trying to keep them, from rubbing against each other. So learn as you go.
yeah, no, I'm about the same way. Like it's kind of weird though because like they're doing these sketch covers like while they're sitting at their table.
Hmm.
So you're like and they're still signing people's books and stuff, but like like I'm like you, I don't want to interrupt them, but I kind of want to see what they're doing too. But I also
Yeah.
feel awkward just kind of standing there, and they're like, "I'll sign your book, man. You're like, you could talk to me," and I was like, "I don't want to interrupt what you're doing."
Yeah. Yeah, 'cause there's some artists they straight up they won't even say anything to you. They just grab your book and sign. Then there's ones that do like to talk to you. Steranko is definitely one of those guys. He'll tell you a lot of stories, which is cool. But then everybody else behind is getting pissed because now it's been an hour, kind of thing. And Mike Zeck, when I met Mike Zeck, he was really nice. He does, he's more outgoing to talk to you. His wife is more business. She's like, hey,
Oh yeah, she's like, "Give me
hand
your
it.
card."
Yeah, she's like, hand
Well,
it over.
I say that like she's mean, but she's very
No,
nice. But
she's
like
just trying to keep the lines going. Can't
that's
blame her.
cool though, because like she always, like you said, she was taking business while like he was talking to you,
Hmm.
and what I like
Yeah.
about him though is like when he signs your book, like he'll also, which I think is an extra cool thing, is because he has his own like COAs,
Hmm.
and so he's signing his own COA, which I think is kind of funny.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
you kind of end up walking away with like double signatures
Hmm.
of Brexit, and I'm just like, hell yeah.
Yeah. And he's got one of those signatures that is just it doesn't affect where he signs it. It almost it almost to me it almost enhances it. You know what
Oh
I
yeah,
mean?
oh
Then you got some you're like, oh, please don't butcher my front cover.
yeah. Yeah, don't you fucking scribble right there, buddy.
Yeah, yeah.
Scribble
And
on the UPC code.
yep. And then
I won't mention
God,
those people's names.
yeah, no, I'm definitely not gonna tell you because if I ever run into him again, I want to be able to hand him a book.
Yeah,
And then
that's
I'll go,
right.
hey, I remember you on Pope G's channel, man, you little turd. Like, nah, it's
Yeah,
all good.
you son of a bitch.
Yeah, I will,
I'll tell you, like, but then like like you said, like with Mike Zeck, there's so many people, like artists and writers that have beautiful signatures, like Greg Capullo.
hmm
Like that pops in my mind. Like I was like,
hmm
man, like you can sign your name anywhere on a book and it'll look good. Like,
yeah. And I definitely got name drop my uncle Randy Amberlin. I think he's got one of the nicest signatures out there too. If I don't, I'll be kicking myself. Yeah. Hey, Randy, I know you're up in Portland, but don't get me. No, the Uncle Randy thing came about because Undisputed Frost was making fun of me because the first con he ever went with me. I mean, I told him when I was bringing, and he thought I was kidding. Then he saw me lift open my trunk, and he saw the short boxes and all the books. He's like, "Holy crap, you're serious!" I'm like, "Yeah, dude, I'm dead serious." So I'm like rolling around getting all these autographs, going back and forth from inside the building up back out to my car to replace books. And the times I was going back and forth, I was getting to know all the security guards and stuff. And Frost is just like, holy crap, you know everybody. And you've only been here like less than an hour. I go, well, if I get to know this person, he knows I'm cool. He ain't gonna stop me every time. And it's just letting him know I appreciate him being here this day, so we can actually have this thing going. But with Randy, he just saw how many books I got for Randy, so he just started naming him my Uncle Randy. So,
Uncle
and then
Randy.
I started saying that to him, and he thought it was hilarious. So he lets me still say it. So I'm like, okay, cool, you're my Uncle Randy. So, you know, it yeah, but like Chris Claremont, what I always liked about Chris Claremont was he would always sign up in the logo, you know. And one time I
You
asked him to sign,
Papa Chris?
huh?
Daddy Chris?
Chris Claremont.
Yeah, Daddy Chris. Papa
Oh,
Chris.
okay, you call him Pop Chris. Okay, yeah, I just know him as Chris Claremont. But, at the time I met him, he was really cool. I asked him why he wouldn't sign, in a different spot in the book, and he says, "Well, I just don't want to take away from the picture." He goes, "Because when you found this book, you saw the art, right?" And I go, "Yeah." He goes, "And that's what drew on you to the art, right?" And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "Well, I don't want my signature to take away from that." So how he explained it was really cool. So I'm like, "Okay, dude, just sign away." So he was signing like a bunch of my X-Men books. It was always right up in the title, and I was fine with that. You know and that started making me think about those things when I go get signatures where I want the person to place this signature, and if they don't want to place it there, then hey, just please sign it either way, because they're the artists, so and it's their work. So I don't want to piss them off.
Yeah.
Because God, I think one book though I did have by Chris Claremont. I had him sign. It was Uncanny X-Men. The number, can't think of it, but it was where you had Storm and Cyclops in the front cover, and they're fighting to see who was going to lead the X-Men,
Oh yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay, yeah. I handed in that book, and I literally almost cringed because I had that book back in the 80s, but he grabbed it right out and he went to fold over the front and didn't do it all the way, and he creased the cover over, and he realized that he tried to flatten it back down, looked through the book because he wanted to look at the pages and show me some stuff. Then he put it back and signed it. And I'm just sitting there, my jaw's down. I'm just like, oh man, he just like defiled my book. He thumb people like to say the thumb F word. And I'm just like, but then I couldn't look at it for the rest of the day, put it back in my short box, got home, and then literally he didn't damage my book, which was cool. He didn't put it. I mean, the crease went away. It was flat. Didn't break any color. But I was just like, thinking, from now on, I'm gonna definitely, because he took the book out of the bag, and I think that's what caused it in a sense. So that's when I started learning to take my own book out, place it down flat, and try to ask him, hey, be careful, be gentle. That's my book. Don't thumb
Yeah.
plug it.
Oh no, that's something that I've always done is like whoever I was gonna go to next to go see to get signatures and stuff. Like
Mm-hmm.
I would get all those books out and pull them out, and I would just hold them ever so gently until I got there.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, it was just my
I
first con I ever went to, so I didn't know what to do. I was so nervous. I was like, how do I do this? How do I hand this book over to this person?
like
You
how
know?
do I tell Chris Claremont fuck you, like without offending him? Like how do I do that?
Or even like when I go up to an artist that I was gonna get a signature from, like Jim Calaflori, I probably pronounced his last name wrong. I kept butchering this man's last name as I'm handing him books, have him sign. It was a bunch of my XL books. Yeah, I still couldn't pronounce it right. And it was funny. Somebody tried to correct me in my video, and they abbreviated it out to spell it out, and I still couldn't pronounce it right. And then I heard Rig say it one time in his video. I'm like, oh, that's how it's said. And I'm probably still saying it wrong, but he was still a really nice guy. Even though I was butchering his last name, but that was embarrassing for me. I'm like, I'm never doing that again. I'll just call him Mr. Jim, and shake his hand because I felt like an idiot. Can't pronounce his last name.
Oh man, like we all struggle with some of these names. Like JP does it all the time. Like Soza Mika. Like
Mm-hmm.
I probably just butchered that name. I just started calling her Sozo. So
Yeah.
and if she ever watches, if like she ever stumbles upon these videos, like I hope she's not offended that I just call her Sozo.
She'd probably start laughing because maybe that might have been her nickname in high school. You never know.
Auntie Sozo. My Auntie Sozo.
Let me see here. I'll show some. If Rig's still in there, I think he'll appreciate this. Because he was the first. Well, besides him, it was Midwest Comic Guy, and Dr. Van Chilla. especially Dr. Vanchilla. I'd see him. He'd always talk about Barry Windsor Smith, and then I saw Riggy was collecting Barry Windsor Smith, and then I started seeing like what they were seeing. So when I came across these, I couldn't leave these. And I know Rig collects this run as well. Rune, is
Oh
it
yeah,
Rune or
Rune is fucking
Rune? Yeah.
awesome.
So that's number one, and then I think this is what number 5. Yeah. So, but that's what I like about this community is that like a lot of the friends I have made, and even people I'm starting to watch their videos, I'm seeing what they're seeing that I never saw before. So it's really piquing my interest to grab these books. And I find probably like 75% of the time, what they're suggesting or they're talking about, I actually do enjoy. It's not like and it's nice when you can find them dead cheap too, instead of paying the high premium that most people want to charge because of the artist on the front cover, or it might be a first appearance, whatever, man. I'm just a collector. I'm like the dude from Guardians of the Galaxy in a sense. I do have animals, so yeah, I'm kind of like him. And I grabbed some New Mutants for $1.
Very nice, very nice.
Yep. There's your
Oh,
Wolverine. Yeah, Liefeld and McFarlane on that bad boy. I think McFarlane inked for him on this one. But hey, Wolverine's feet looks actually pretty good.
not too shabby.
Not too shabby. The one cover I still can't get over though that he did was that Captain America with it wasn't it Liefeld? Captain America,
Oh
the
yeah,
big old chest. Oh my god, dude! He must have been like half asleep and just turned it in, and they said, okay, maybe someone's pissed off at him, so we're going to print this, because that just does not look right to me. I mean, proportion wise, I'm sorry.
like he waited like 2 hours before the deadline.
Yeah, yeah. I just said, oh, this looks good.
This will
Um, exactly. Here's a Marvel Age I needed, number 49. Yeah,
work.
Gru.
Grew it.
Yep. About to get Santa Claus, get his
As
chestnuts.
one should.
Yeah. And
Some
then
creeper into your house through the chimney.
well, he brings you food. I mean, he brings you toys. You leave him food. It's all good. It's a kind of a good combination. Here's Ron Lim doing a Thanos. It's Cosmic Powers. It took me a while to find this in my CLZ because when I was pulling up, it didn't have the Cosmic Power on the side here. It just had a huge picture of Thanos. So it took me a while to find this series because I never had it in my CLZ. But I mean, for $1, I wasn't going to pass it up to Sweet Thanos. And I think you guys would like this one too. I know that JP would because it's right up his alley. It's Rose, issue number 2, Girl with the Blade. You got a big old cat.
Good old Rose.
Yeah, big old cat back there.
Uh-oh. Maybe we could pick JP and Riggedy Giggity.
Yeah. So yeah, I got these for $1.
What's up, Hazel Dan? How's
All
it
right.
going?
Then I'll show these Alex Rosses if you want. I don't know if I showed them before. Maybe I did. Maybe I haven't. I can't remember.
They
I
should
probably
always.
did.
They're awesome anyway.
Yeah.
Show them again. Those I love those fucking covers, man.
Yeah. Dr. Doom. Victor Von Doom. Yep. Yeah, Kingpin.
Because I say I had
Electra.
the conversation before, like with Alex Ross. Like he draws like people like as though like that's how I think they would actually look like if they were like
If they were real.
yeah.
Yeah. No,
Well,
I feel you, man.
like I mean, if I was gonna open up the door and see like Scorpion, for instance, like he would look like that, like
Yeah.
oh yeah. So I mean, Alex Ross did like well. I'm just glad he did those runs of like covers and stuff, like
Mm-hmm.
like can't remember if it was you or JP that said or that he may needed rent money or something. He's like, oh, time for rent, so he just like popped out a couple like
Yeah.
some covers.
Well, I just like I remember when that Captain America run came out, and I got the preview book, and I saw he was doing Captain America. He was doing a few of the what is it? Gosh, the Incredible Hulk run, not Amazing Hulk. Oh gosh. Either way,
The
I
Immortal
remember
Hulk,
seeing.
Incredible Hulk.
Thank you, Immortal Hulk. Yes, I remember when I saw that in a preview. I went right to the CLZ. I'm like, as my not my CLZ. I went right to my comic book store and I said, "Hey, I want these two on my pull list. You know, because if Alex Ross is doing this, I want those covers. You know." So like, all
Oh
right.
yeah.
So they put them on the pull list, and yeah, I was able to get every single issue. Didn't miss a single one. It was just weird though, because sometimes the Captain America take a lot longer to come out than the Immortal Hulk. So I was able to keep up with the Immortal Hulk, but my Captain America, I have to wait another week or so. I'm like, what? But then I'm like, he's a busy man. I mean, he's double tasking here, but he's stuck with the whole Captain America run, which is really cool. I like that.
Oh yeah. Well, the Joker says he watched a documentary with Todd McFarlane, and this is going back to the shitty Captain America cover, and he said a lot of those guys got checks that they went off and were riding jet skis and they weren't doing their work or heading into work on time. So like
Mm-hmm.
you know, but I guess that was during the era of they got huge with
Mm-hmm.
Image,
Yeah.
you know, like because I remember watching an Image documentary where like how they pretty much snagged everybody. They snagged all the elites at the time
Mm-hmm.
and formed this powerhouse. And they said that they were so but like I remember saying that them talking like they went to California and like Rob Liefeld was just kind of like we went to a comic book store and there was like lines. He said there was like news reporters everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It was like next thing you know, like Snoop Dogg is kind of like pushing people out of the way. So like he can like get up there and shit, and he's just like like that's got to be fucking crazy just to like like I mean I think they all deserve, or at least a good majority deserve to be treated like rock stars and shit. But like
Oh yeah.
I couldn't imagine like people like society not taking them that serious, and then all of a sudden it's just kind of like boom, you know.
Mm-hmm. Well, like if I would have never thought in a million years that Snoop Dogg would collect comic books, you know. But that's what's cool. It's like you see like these celebrities, or we see them as celebrities that they do collect comic books, and that they have like certain characters they like, and they go on the hunt as well to find these books or
Yeah.
get them signed. So that's pretty cool, especially if you're there getting a signature and there's Snoop Dogg. I mean, how
Yeah.
cool would that be? There.
I mean, I never thought like Snoop Dogg would be hanging out with Martha Stewart. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
coming out with different wines and like vodkas. Like
Oh
what?
man, yeah, that kind of blew me away. I was like, that is a weird combination, But they do make some pretty funny commercials. I like their commercials.
Oh, they're
They,
branded now, man. They make
mhm,
wines. They have wines and vodka like
yeah.
out there now.
Well, I've seen his bottles of wine at a store called Winco or up here, and it's kind of funny because there's this picture. He's like one he's wearing shades, one he's not wearing shades, and my son's like, "Oh, it's Snoop Dogg." I go, "Yeah, it's Snoop Dogg." So why he's on a bottle of wine? That's probably his product. So it's kind of funny. Like some of my kids notice this stuff too before I do. And I'm like, oh shit, man, I'm getting old. Oh, it's on my
Oh yeah.
TV.
No, yeah, that's it's just crazy because like but then again like a lot. But I mean, a lot of people like when you see celebrities and shit like that. Like a lot of people, like they're so starstruck that they just forget that they're fucking people too. You know,
Yeah,
but
I think like,
a lot of that comes from those sometimes like there are those high elite superstars that don't want to be treated like regular people. So like so they people are going to treat them like they're not people because they expect to be treated like they should be on a pedestal everywhere they go. But then you have a lot of like down to earth people that like you know they want to be able to go to Starbucks or whatever without
mhm,
being harassed.
yeah, And it's like, oh gosh, I think like I remember the first time I met Weird Al Yankovic. What I liked about him is like, he walked right past all the crowds, went right in the music store. He sat there. Not only was he signing autographs, talking to people, but then people were calling in over the radio and he was answering them. And like this one guy made trying to make a petty joke about how he dresses, and he's like, they said something about like, oh, does your mom dress you that way? And he says, no, your mom did. Thank you. He's being, you know, he was being very like, comical about everything, and he wasn't taking anything seriously, and he was just making everybody there feel comfortable, and he made sure everybody's whatever they had for him to sign, he signed for him. He's just really chill back dude. And then every time I go to Great America, I swear to God, he was always there. He'd be just walking around the crowd and nobody knew who he was. But it's like, how could you not? He had like this, model with him, and I think that was just all publicity, because that wasn't his wife, and he wasn't like messing around or anything. But I was in the line waiting for Days of Thunder ride because that movie was hot, and I just remember looking over and I saw him, and he came up and he was asking about the ride. He wasn't asking to cut in line or anything. And me being a stupid teenage boy, I yelled out Weird Al, then everybody swarmed him. And then for me it was great. The line got shorter. I got into the ride a lot faster. But poor Weird,
That's a good
poor,
tactic. You're like, oh shit, there's Weird Al. You're like,
yeah, yeah. Then everybody else is like following him, and I got to get on the ride. I was like, thank you, Weird. It's all good.
thank you, Al.
Yeah. And then like up here, I see like a lot of some celebrities. Like Sam Elliott lives in Oregon. I haven't seen him yet, but I heard he does go around
You're on the
Eugene a lot.
lookout.
Yeah, to
You're on
run
the
into
lookout.
Sam Elliott, that'd be cool as hell. And then like a bunch of football players live up this way, because it's Oregon Ducks. Some pro football players, even some pro head coaches like Tony Dungy. He lives in Oregon. Um, I think even Snoop Dogg came here a couple times and visited Oregon, and he was in Eugene. He's doing a couple shows because that's when they started to lift the whole band about smoking pot. So he was loving it, man.
Jesus, like,
Yep. What's up, homie?
I don't
Walking
give
down
a
the street.
shit.
Yeah.
It's like
And
the Super Bowl. Like,
mm-hmm.
please don't light up, don't get high. He's like, okay. Please
Yep.
don't walk when like, uh-oh. I mean, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on fucking YouTube. But he did that particular little dance that he wasn't
hmm
supposed to do. He was like, fuck you guys.
Yeah, because like Phil Knight, he's also like the biggest name here, I guess, in Oregon because Nike and stuff. So that's why I think like a lot of those sports players would come this way because they're going to go meet up with him or something, I guess. But they go to a lot of the games too around sometimes, so you get to see some. I've never seen LeBron James here, but you do get to see some pretty big names of Portland players, Portland Trailblazer players coming through every once in a while. But yeah, I love living here because it's just it's a lot cheaper than where I was living before in California. Because California was expensive, but in California, I would see more of the rock musicians, some football players from 49ers all the time. Um, but yeah, so I was starstruck always in the beginning. Then I just kind of got used to it. So I know like not to just scream at him, except for that one time with Weird Al Yankovic. Um, and it was like with Comic Con too. It's like I had to revisit that. Like these are just people too. I shouldn't freak out. Just be polite and I'll get my stuff signed. Because the beginning, like I gotta get all this stuff signed. And I just realized, nah, if I take my time, get to talk to them, and then I see them again. Hopefully they remember me. Maybe get a discount. That's how I get my discounts. Become a friend. That's bad,
So
but
you need
nah,
to teach me how to become really good friends with Walgreens. Like,
I will. I will.
just
I
gonna walk
definitely
up
will.
to the pharmacy and be like, "Hey guys, who's your favorite patient? Give me some drugs and discount Star Wars figurines.
I just came in for band-aids, I swear to God, but this Star Wars figurine, yeah, I want it.
$1.25, please."
Yep. Yeah. I mean, for me, it's just I find it to be, you know, I don't know, good karma, I guess. I don't really look for that stuff all the time, but when I do get it, I just figured, man, I'm blessed at that moment. And it's not that, I brag about it, but it's just I find it to be kind of amazing, I guess, in a way that I'm just at the right place, the right time, you know. That's all. That's all it is, honestly. And I
I
guess
don't think
that
that bragging is at all, but it's something that like you can't keep to yourself. Like,
oh yeah, but it's just
like you
I
have to fucking tell people that shit. Like, I don't like what?
yeah, I just like because what I try to do is when I do talk about it, I try to make sure that I'm not bragging. I guess that's what I mean, I just if anything, I just hope it kind of shows people, hey, if you really wait for a while, you can actually get it for the price you want, instead of paying what somebody thinks you should pay. So that way you still got money in your pocket, you go get lunch. So it's not just spent on that one product. And that's how I shop. I really try to find the best bargain. And I've let a lot of things go where I'm like, God, I know I'm never going to see it again. But then, it might pop up and then I get it for way less than what I was going to pay originally, which is great. You know, uh, keep fidgeting around with these books because I want to organize them. It's try, it's driving me nuts that like I don't have them organized. Uh, that's one thing about me. If Rig's still there, I think he'll like this cover. I couldn't believe I found this one. So
Oh
Sam
yeah,
Keith.
Sam Keith.
Sam Keith.
I
Yeah.
like how it says who else.
Yeah.
That's all pretty shit. It's kind of like
Oh,
if you can't recognize my artwork by now, then like just forget about it.
yep. And then here's like this is Gene Day, I believe Gene Day. I really started collecting the Masters of Kung Fu run because of Mike Zeck. He did a lot of the covers for this, so this was one of them that I needed for my run. I know that Tebow, he's a huge, collector of Masters of Kung Fu and like Bruce Lee stuff. So when I started watching his channel, then I started realizing, like the rest of the run was just as good as the one that I was just trying to catch in the middle with Mike Zeck. So then I just went crazy and started grabbing those. Um, then here's, I know these are just starting to come out. The Disney covers.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Those
Yeah,
are, I love those. Those are pretty nice.
yeah, yeah. I'm like, do I really need it?
No, you
Yeah.
don't. You do.
Oh, I
You kind
yeah. I don't. I do, but hey, it's Disney. And then Twig, I found that issue. I was happy because I'm trying to get this run, trying to get it started so that way I can read it because I really do. I like Scotty Young stuff. His Middle West run is amazing. For me it is, and so like I'm like everything Scotty Young. I'll support his. Because I like his stuff. To me it's nice.
Have a good night, Joker. Thanks for popping on and saying hello, man. It's really
Yeah,
awesome to see.
take care, brother. I think I told you about this one, Mercy, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
the
went
work on
back.
Mondolfo.
Yeah. Oh man, it's a female. It's a woman, right? I believe so. So I looked her up. Yeah, it is a woman
Yeah.
that's doing this. Her artwork is just. I mean, I love her artwork, and it just took the cover that got me into liking her stuff was this one right here, number 3.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
when I saw this, I didn't see the name up on front, and I thought, oh, if that's Eric Powell, I'm grabbing it. It's like the first thing I thought was Eric Powell for some reason. And then, when I went to that store, that Dare to Dream Collectibles, I saw he had the rest of these books. So I'm like, I'm gonna grab them. And then I looked her up, and I was like, man, this woman can draw, and she does everything. I like that cover's just amazing.
Oh yeah.
And I think this is the third printing because there's other covers and there's a variant one. This one's just, if I woke up to that, that'd scare the crap out of me. You know, um, and this one, the way she uses the red with the green and all that is just amazing. And then she's just silhouetted right there. That's just insane.
Oh yeah.
There's so much detail in that. It's just amazing.
Is that did Merca do that cover?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I have to look at my CLZ. I should have wrote it all down because I've already taken it out. But what's great is I can add it back to my list. But yeah, I think this is just all her. I mean, maybe on some of the variant covers, she might have had somebody else, but maybe this one. I don't know. I can barely see it. It's dark up here.
Oh yeah,
But
that's
there's,
definitely Merca. Oh yeah.
yeah. But this is definitely like, this is her baby. So, and
Yeah,
she's definitely.
I discovered her when she did the image. Oh man, the fucking name just left me. Oh my god.
And it's the last one. This one's
Can't
really
believe
cool
the
too.
name of that book just fucking escaped my brain. Unnatural. That's the name of the book.
Oh, Unnatural. Okay, yeah, I know that book. I never bought any of the issues, just because it's like with my kids, last thing I want is those books to be missing, and I find them in my son's room. I'm like, man, you know. But no, I like the covers of those. Those are really cool. When you got a teenage son, it's like, oh man, you got to really watch.
Yeah, my son is now hitting the teenager. He's 12 right now.
Oh.
And so it's just like, oh god.
Yeah, he's my oldest son. He's already starting to try to. He hasn't asked for the car keys yet, but I've been trying to take him out driving, and I know pretty soon it's gonna be, Dad, can I borrow the truck? I'll think about that. Hmm.
Yeah, I just have like 3 more books I'll show. Like I got
Sure.
that's part of that run of books I've never seen before. Like this one's called Spin Angels.
Mm-hmm.
And this is probably my favorite one. And I absolutely love this cover. It's awesome. But it's called Samurai Legend. And this is, I guess, even a variant edition of that.
Oh, that's cool. I like that because it took me a while to see the female there. I was like, what was that? And then I saw her face. I'm like, okay, that's awesome.
You're like, what's that
Because
this book?
yeah, seriously, I'm like looking a little closer. I mean, but then I saw, I was like, okay, cool.
There's a little girl coming out of his butt.
Yeah.
And then, like, see if I can get more light on this bad boy.
And the title's called Samurai?
Yep.
Nice.
Maybe.
Oh, yeah, I can see the mask. That's awesome right there at the skull.
Mm-hmm.
Teeth and everything. That's cool. And who's the publisher of that one?
It's Marvel. This is that
is?
weird. Yeah, it's that weird mature content thing. Like, I've never seen those runs anywhere.
Yeah. Well, that tells you right there, I've never seen them because I didn't even realize that was Marvel still. That's pretty cool. I mean, I'm thinking go check out one of my local comic book shops. They usually have just like a slew of back issue stuff, and if it's not that old, he might have it still. I mean, he might have something of it.
Yeah, I'm trying to see like. There's like a date in here somewhere.
Because I mean,
on the back of this, it's advertising for stuff coming out. So I'm gonna say this probably came out mid 2008.
Okay.
Because it's got stuff for coming out December of 2008 and stuff early 2009. So
yeah,
I'm just assuming this came out like mid 2008.
yeah, I would think that because this store I'm talking about is called Nostalgia Comic Books. They are the oldest comic book store in Eugene, Oregon, and he used to have a store out on the campus at the gosh, at Oregon State. And so when they closed that down, everything from that store came to his store. So he's still going through all that stuff and trying to put things out, you know. But I could probably find some of those there, which would be cool because I'd like to, you know, dip and dive into them and, you know, finger through them. But if you ever came this way, I think that would be the first store like I'd take you and JP to would be Nostalgia Comics because I think you guys would just be blown away by this guy's collection and just what he has in the store. And there's no sales tax, so you know you better bring a couple. Yeah, you better bring a couple suitcases because I think you're going to be like dollar bins. It's only $1. What?
Dollar.
Yeah, with no sales tax. That's why I'm saying I'm probably in the best place possible because I'm not having to pay all those crazy taxes, you know. And that's not me bragging, but it sounds like I'm bragging. But like literally, anybody that I meet that wants to come up this way, I'll definitely show them all the places I go to so they can get the same deals I get. Hopefully, find some books they never thought about before because like those I've never seen those before. So I'm definitely gonna go check those out. At least give them a look through, you know. Because the covers to me, that last one with the freaking samurai mask on with the skull kind of looking thing, that was awesome. I mean, that right there drives me in right there. Anything with the skull. And we got sharks, samurai, girls with blades, sharks, and skulls. That's not a bad combination.
We're like covering the bases of everybody we see on YouTube.
Oh man, yeah, it's been a long day for me.
Oh, we
But
got
it's been
four-way
fun.
flashers. What's up, man?
Oh, four-way?
Hey, buddy.
Whenever I go to church, I'm always like, four-way. Like,
the guy
excuse
who
me?
brought me the three-titted shark.
Yep. Lucky man.
Oh, man.
Four-way's the man.
Every time I think of that fucking book, like, oh my god.
I do remember the day you revealed it because you were just like blown away. And you're like, oh, hell no. Really? And you just put it up. And yeah, yes, those are three tits. That was good. I mean, just like you didn't see it coming, which was amazing. That's when it's like cool to see that kind of stuff.
Not at all. Like,
yeah. That's when you know you definitely, you know, got somebody something they weren't expecting and it just blows them away. And that's what it's all about, you know. God, no, these aren't. That's in a video. I can't show those. I'm trying to see if I had any other books I can show, but I got ones that are not in bag and board, but I usually try not to mess with those ones too much because some of them are kind of fragile. Oh, like that one.
like this one.
Yeah, that was the bag. That was the bag. I ripped it. That was the bag.
It was just funny. Like I gotta be careful because some of these are fragile, and then all I hear is. I was like, oh,
yeah.
well.
Yeah, like this one, I still got a bag and board.
Oh, that's nice, man.
Scorched, yeah.
It was fun. It's crazy.
Yeah, and that's what the next issue is gonna look like. So, and what I love about these books, they're only $2.99, folks. $2.99. Order now and get some Ginzu knives or rip bag. You want a rip bag from TaT Comics?
Rip bag, TaT Comics.
Yeah, and of course, you know.
TaC, we got the bag for you.
Yeah. Then of course I got some Spectre, because gosh, I'm like all over the place with the Spectre because I have like I'm not going after volume 1 as much as I am with volume 2, volume 3, and volume 4. Because some of these covers are just they're pretty crazy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That one. Yeah, and all these I think this is from the one place called Nostalgia Comics. Because literally I'll go in there and I'll be like, hey, do you have back issues for, like let's say X-Men? He'll be like, well, I got the long boxes out there. You can look through those. But like Spectre, he'll come out with like stacks. And he always starts with the highest number and goes down to the lowest number. And that used to throw me off because I'm like, I go to put the stacks back and he's like, hey, how'd you put them back? And then he showed me. So I'm like, okay, hey, I want to respect your store. So now I know how to go through them. But it was always so weird to see like the highest number on the top, because usually the numbers that I always need are the last 10 issues. So I like to be digging and find that at the end. If if I see it's not the top array, I'm like, oh, okay, there goes my fun. Just here he can have it back. I think, but this is where I do find a lot of my back issues from him. And I'm collecting Batman, but I have no idea what the stories are right now. It's sad. I'm collecting a book I'm not even reading.
It's okay, man. It's okay.
Yeah, but then it's like, do I really want to still keep collecting Batman? I mean, I like Batman, but I don't know. I think it's just because it's on my pull list, and I'm like, well, I don't want to take it off just as yet, Because then watch, like, when the story really starts to really take off, and I'm about ready to read it, I'll stop collecting it, And it's like, oh crap.
Now, like that's my problem coming now. It's like I haven't really found a comic book that, like, recently that's really grabbed my attention, like to the point where like I gotta collect that. Like I, like Green Lantern is what brought me back into collecting comics. Was I talk about a lot the Blackest Night series, but like I started collecting, but then like now, like, man, I don't even know that like they just fell off the rails. Like they started like making so many new Green Lantern characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like the one thing that came out of all that shit was Sinestro got his own run for a little bit, and I love that shit. Like I'm a huge Sinestro fan, and I was just like, oh yeah, and like his storyline was really good too.
Well, yeah, because I never really I didn't read as much DC books because I was just all into the X-Men, Spider-Man, all stuff. So you saw well, Ryan Reynolds says he really doesn't like that Green Arrow movie that he did, or Green Lantern movie that he did. But would you say like the character they portrayed, Sinestro, decent in that movie?
Oh yeah, I thought they like what's his name, Mark Strong, is that right?
Mm-hmm. I think so.
I think he was the perfect Sinestro.
Okay.
Like I thought he pulled it off very, very well. Like
Yeah,
to me, like the script was shit. Like
yeah. I mean, I enjoyed the movie. I just, for me, it was like kind of learning about these characters for the first time because I don't have as many Green Lantern, comic books. I do have some. I remember, like, I don't know if you remember this, but like when they came out, Underoos back in the day. Do you remember Underoos? Yeah, okay. I remember like having like the Incredible Hulk, having Wolverine, stuff like that. Yeah, yeah. I remember even having like a Green Lantern one, because it had the symbol right where the private area is, I walked around.
Power right here.
Yeah. Here's my lantern. Ping!
You need to recharge something there.
Yeah. It's like, hey man.
Say the oath. Say the oath.
Exactly. But it's like I remember that stuff when I was a kid. So when I watched the movie, it was just kind of like I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was terrible, but it's just funny how Ryan Reynolds, how he plays it off, like we did Deadpool always go around killing himself with all the scripts that he's done in movies, and that was one of them, But because the one movie that I was really disappointed in, but after seeing it now about 3 more times, was the Daredevil movie with Ben Affleck. I was kind of like, it just, I hated it when it first came out. And I had to watch a couple more times to have somewhat of an appreciation for it. I kind of took that as that's their stepping stone to do what they did on Netflix. I thought Netflix nailed it. I was like,
I love the Netflix Daredevil.
Yeah, that was my Daredevil. So I figured they had to go through the Ben Affleck, to be able to get, that one. But the Ghost Rider movie, I thought the first Ghost Rider movie was okay. The second one, I hated it. And I usually like Nicolas Cage, but the second one, I was like, this is terrible. I'm not even going to finish watching it. It's awful. I don't need it, just sweep it away, I didn't like the whole fact of him dancing and all that stuff when he's about to, kick some people's asses. I'm like, what is that about, dude? What is it, Staying Alive? That's I don't hear the Bee Gees. Why are you dancing, man? It's just kind of killed it for me. I didn't care for it.
I didn't even like the first one. Like, I don't know. I have a lot of things I talk about Ghost Rider. But
it's not good, man.
There's a lot of movies like that I think are out there that like I don't. It's kind of weird that like GPAP was just on. He came like
Hmm.
from out of the shadows. I don't know if you caught his show, but like
Yeah.
he was talking. So he was talking about all the like movies. He was like, "Fuck all those fucking Marvel movies. Fuck all that shit." He's like, "Just read fucking comic books." But, like, I feel you, man. But
Yeah.
I mean, like I believe like I agree with a lot of things that he said, but like, but I've like definitely learned that like some of those things like you can't, because I remember like when the X-Men movies came out, and I was
Hmm.
like I remember in my brain like going to see those movies that I was like, man, they better not fuck it up. Like
Yeah.
I, I remember thinking it better be to the T, like
Hmm.
the fucking comic books, or I was like, or like it's gonna suck. And then like, in my personal opinion, it sucked. Like I don't know like how people feel about the like. Was it interesting to see it and like how they perceived it? Yeah, but like, and I'm not even saying there was like bad casting, like, but
Right.
like, it's just like to me, I just felt like they're like, that's where I agree with GPAP. I was like, I think they just found a way just to make money. They were like,
Hmm.
oh man, the X-Men are like a huge thing. Like, let's make a movie and try to, you know, it's almost like they didn't care about the script because they knew they were going to make money on it.
Hmm.
Because they were just like, just make us a movie so we can like
Yeah.
cause that shit.
And
You know?
wasn't it Sony? Wasn't it Sony who owned the rights to those?
Oh
Right?
yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Was it
Yeah.
Sony or Fox? It was one of those two, right?
I don't know. Now that you say that,
Yeah.
now that you
Because
say it, I'm going to say maybe it was Fox that owned it.
yeah, because yeah, I think you're right. I mean, the first ones they were entertaining. Where I thought they started to do right by the X-Men characters was when they came out with First Class. When they came out, or, when they came out the newer versions where like you had a younger Professor Xavier. But I thought, like you're saying, the other ones, the actors were great. I just think the script was just kind of, you know. It's like they were trying to throw it all in there at once. They were trying to bring in all these characters from the book instead of having like let's say the top four main characters, kind of thing. And but I like them. I can still watch them now, but it's just funny because I know what's coming up right off the bat. I'm like, oh god, really? I got to watch that kind of
Yeah,
scene, that corny part. Um, and yeah, I think Marvel is they're still they're still getting their niche. I really like the newer ones, like the Civil War, though. I like those movies. Um, and the Captain America movie I thought was done really well because they just went with him and Red Skull. They didn't try to bring in so much. And that's what's hard with the X-Men is you have all those characters, Colossus, Wolverine, Angel, Cyclops, Storm, Rogue, Gambit, and then you have all more of the other X-Men, of course, I'm not mentioning their names,
yeah,
Beast, you know. Um, and you have all them in there, and then you got like they only had a couple of villains, until it started to get to like the Dark Phoenix era. Um, but yeah, they're fun to watch now. I can kind of laugh at them, but the Wolverine movies. How'd you like those? Do you think those were okay though? Like just the Wolverine standalone movies?
uh, no, man. I like. It's kind of hard to like like. It's like I don't know how to explain it. It's like I like seeing Wolverine.
Hmm.
It's like he's my favorite Marvel hero, and it's just but like a lot of those movies was just like they were just horrible. Like to me, like the script was just so bad, and like I will say that Logan is growing on me. Uh,
Yeah.
but like the first time I saw Logan, I was so fucking pissed off when those girls were like, "Oh, talking about him being an X-Men," and he was just like, "It's just a comic book." And then
Yeah.
to find out that he was a character in a comic book in his universe, and I was like,
Hmm.
"Are you fucking kidding me?" And
Yeah.
then and then he was saying shit like a lot of stuff you see in the comic books isn't real, and I was just like, "So are you saying that like all the X-Men movies we watched didn't really happen? They were just like were we seeing the comic book version of like
Yeah.
the X-Men from like what your reality is?" You know, it was just weird for
Yeah, that when I remember hearing that movie, and I think I blocked it out because I was just trying to think like, why would they put that in there? One and two, was it did they put that in there so he could pretend like, he doesn't want to be because you know how he just wanted to be left alone in the movie. Kind of got that feeling like he didn't want people recognizing him or knowing who he was. So I kind of took it as maybe that's why he's saying it because he doesn't want these kids to think that that was reality and just make them think it is a comic book. So I was battling that too. I was thinking, why are they even bringing that up in the movie? It just doesn't. I felt it didn't really go with the script too much, but I thought the fight scenes were pretty good, and it was cool to see, hear a little bit about the origin story. I thought how they brought in X-23, right, or is it 21?
yeah,
God,
23.
okay, 23. Thank you. I thought her character was done pretty okay. It wasn't terrible,
Yeah,
but
I mean, I'm not mad at it.
yeah, I mean, it had its good points, but yeah, there were those points like that though. You're just thinking like, what the heck? And what was all about like when they were on the highway too with those those hardy like nobody driving them kind of semis and those horses come out, fall out everywhere, and then they're trying to rescue these horses. Then that's how he gets over the barn and all that. I'm like, oh, okay, they really didn't ask the writers what they thought about it. The writers for a book. Like wow.
And
Um,
I just kind of feel like, don't fucking tease Mr. Sinister and then don't deliver fucking Mr.
yeah,
Sinister. Like,
yeah.
I thought they were gonna like do the. To be honest, when I saw them drop Mr. Sinister, like in
Hmm.
the extra scenes or whatever, I
Hmm.
thought they were gonna do the Executioner song,
Oh,
and I thought
that's
they were gonna bring like Strife and Cable into it, and like you know where Strife assassinates Professor X. Like,
yeah. Well,
I'm like, ooh, that's gonna be interesting.
yeah, and then they just had it be the clone of Wolverine do it. Yeah, I think like it's funny because like my wife has only watched a few Marvel movies, and of course she loved the Thor movies, right? And then Deadpool came out, and then it was just like, okay, no, just Deadpool. And I see why, because Deadpool, that's like when you're going to that movie and it being rated R, you're gonna get what you want from Deadpool. So I thought the Deadpool movies were funnier than hell because that's what it's supposed to be like. And there was a lot of cutting up and stuff. I'm just thinking like my wife likes this over this. Okay,
I
well, I'll
mean,
go with it.
that's the thing with Deadpool's character, though. Like
Yeah.
his comic book, he breaks the fourth wall. He's a fourth wall breaker,
Hmm.
and that's what he does in the movie. Like that's how I would picture Deadpool. Like
Oh yeah,
it's perfect.
exactly. Yeah. So I thought like they really directed those really well. That's why I can watch a Deadpool movie if it's on TV, even with damn commercials. I'll watch it. Sometimes if I record it, then I can skip through the commercials. That's just because I get too lazy to put the DVD in. But you know,
I'm not
but it's
getting up
like,
the couch.
yeah, I'm not getting up. Uh, but that's why I like my wife will do sometimes is she will sit down and watch some of these action movies with me, but the one she will always sit down and watch with me if I'm watching is Deadpool. She loves Deadpool, so well, there you go. Because she likes his corniness, how he talks and everything he says. Like shit fire or was it what was the one scene where the guy's running through the building and goes, "Holy shit, pickles! That guy's on fire!" I think that's what he said. It's just so funny because we call my youngest son Pickle, and I'm just like, oh my god. But it was just how he delivered the line. I was like, dude, that is like so damn funny. You know what I mean? It's that's what I loved about the Deadpool movies. I think my wife texted me to see if I'm still doing live streams, so she probably needs me. And probably get I get off, you'll get more views. But I want to say thank you, Pope, man. Dude, thank you for having me on. You know,
No, thank you, man. Like this is awesome. Like I said, man, anytime like you want to do something like this, just let me know. We'll do it.
yeah, definitely, man, because it's cool talking with you. And I mean, my wife didn't text me right now. I'd be on for another. I wouldn't mind being on for more hours, but I figure if she texts me, it's something serious. So
She's like, stop talking about me in Deadpool movies.
exactly, yeah. Or you talk about the Walgreens exclusives, or the prices you get. Yep, yeah. Activate secrets. Thanks, brother. Thanks for everybody who came in the chat. I remember there's Joker, Riggedy Giggity, JP, Bad Avenger. Who else am
Hazel
I missing?
Dan,
Hazel Dan,
Flashers.
Four Flashes.
Got
Yep.
Lord Tatman.
Oh, Lord Tatman. I haven't seen him in a long time.
Well, that's what JP was saying. He said in the chat that he's like, look at all these OGs coming out the woodwork. I was like, yeah. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Because Lord Tatman, I remember when he came out, I was watching his vids because somebody said, "Hey, somebody took your domain name." I'm like, "Dude, I don't care." And I watched his videos. I'm like, "He's got good videos, man. Who cares?" You know. And he's got some pretty sweet tattoos too. So I mean, hey, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't care. Hey, if some of his followers come over to me because they think I'm him or me, vice versa, dude, let's let it go. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. But yeah, I'm glad to see that he's still around because he's been out for a while. At least I haven't seen him put out any videos in a while. So I've seen him in a few chats and stuff, and it's pretty cool that he's still jumping in and out. So yeah, but
All right,
yeah, I
guys.
probably
Peace out. Later.
later.